What's going on, guys? It's Lowqy here, or you can just call me Lewis. And today I'm going to be telling you guys some pretty crazy stories, all right? These are a couple of creepypastas you might have heard of that are actually based on true stories. If you don't know what a creepypasta is, it's basically, just to sum it up in a real fast way, is they're scary stories. And today I'm going to be showing you guys 5 of my top creepypastas that I actually found were based on real stories or have real life connections. So some of these are actually fucking real, and one of them is super surprising and actually gives me chills just thinking about it. I actually that's my go-to creepypasta. It should be number one, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, here we go. Let's get right into it. Creepypasta number one, the Slender Man. All right, everybody knows who the Slender Man is. Real tall guy, in the suit, white face, the opposite of the racist one, and he kills people or whatever, or he drives people to kill others. But our first entry is the iconic Slenderman. What many don't know is that the figure actually originated from an internet Photoshop contest. It was created by Something Awful Forums user Eric Kunson. I don't know. That name will be right here on the screen, but it was created on the website Something Awful in 2009 as a Photoshop entry competition thing. I'm pretty sure he won and everything. However, the legend continued to grow, and in 2014, 2 girls attempted to murder their friend, claiming that they did it to appease the Slenderman. The chilling connection to real life events is enough to send shivers down your spine. That is just the most trippy thing ever. Even if it wasn't the actual Slenderman, was just a photoshopped person. A lot of people should already know that it was just a random person photoshopped this thing, to be scary. And then they're coming out and saying that's what made them do it. In my opinion, it was just a way to try to get an insanity plea instead of we stabbed our friend for no reason type shit. So that was in 2014, yeah. So it was well over the whole Photoshop competition. So they probably didn't even know that it came from a Photoshop thing. They probably, just heard about it from the creepypastas. As soon as that thing was made, a lot of people started making creepypastas because the thing just looks crazy and creepy. But anyways, next up we have the Rake. The Rake is said to be a pale humanoid entity that invades your darkest nightmares. The first Rake encounter involved a woman waking up to it sitting on the edge of her bed. So that's fucking scary as hell. Imagine just looking back and seeing this shit in your face. Some believe the story is inspired by real life encounters with strange creature-like beings. Reports of encounters have surfaced over the years, adding to the eerie layer of credibility to this tale. I'm pretty sure I looked, and when I was doing research for this video, there's things all the way from the 1800s or something way farther than that too, of reports of the Rake. So it's basically like a humanoid, kind of fucked up looking gray monster. It's all skinny and shit. It basically impersonates people or things or animals or whatever. And that's what they use to lure you. They'll pretend they're a dude. I actually seen a video. If I can find some videos or whatever that are pretty what the hell, inexplainable, not unexplainable, but it could point towards the Rake. I'll put it up in the video right after I'm done talking here. But basically they just turn it, let's say they turn into your best friend or whatever that was sleeping over, da 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 da. Your friend's not there, he's gone or whatever. Apparently he was already stalked days before by the Rake and everything. The Rake is making its plan, and then they'll steal the voice of the person that died and say exactly what they were saying while they were before they died. So usually it'd be like a random dude standing still in the middle of a forest or whatever, just yelling, "Help! Help me! Get it off me!" type shit, some crazy fucking creepy ass shit. And basically you would hear that outside, and then you would go look, and basically that's how it gets you. It'll lure you by making you think that it's your friend or your dog or your parent or whatever. It pretends to have that voice and even mimics exactly what it sounded like the last seconds that it was next to that human or animal or whatever. And if you see one up close, they usually look weird. They look like they're spacing out. They look out of it. They don't look like the normal animal. And a lot of people make jokes about it and post it online and everything, "Oh, this is not my dog" type shit. And it's the dog looks weird, has a weird facial expression that honestly doesn't look like a fucking dog's facial expression. And then it's looking at the floor or out the window or some shit, just staring, or just looking at you, just blank stared with a twisted head. That's how they stalk you until they get you. So that's the Rake. That one's one of the most scariest ones, and the one with the most real tales behind it, because there's so many actual stories of farmers waking up and all their cows and stuff are ripped to shreds and everything. That was an actual thing. They even have a Netflix thing called Something Farms. I forgot what it was. Something Ranch. I don't know. I'll put it on the screen if I remember. But basically, it's all about Rake experiences in that farm. And that's on Hulu. There's legit sources. And I want to say legit. It's still fucking bullshit TV, but legit places than YouTube that have stories about the Rake. So that one actually scares me a little. Next one, the Diona House. House. This one I didn't even know before I started reading for making the script for this. I didn't know about this creepypasta being a thing. So we're gonna learn about it together right now. The unsettling story follows a man's investigation into a strange house with dark secrets. The supernatural house somehow takes place in more than one location. While it's a work of fiction, it's inspired by real-life events, people discovering unsettling and abandoned properties, sparking fear to the unknown. This is like one of those weird creepypasta. I'm pretty sure you go in the house and then you open it and it's another room, or like you open the door for the room and you're outside type thing. And then you open another door, you go in, and then you're in another location, and basically you can't go back to where you were. And I guess this was just literally based off everybody's different stories, finding abandoned places and da-da. It's kind of like an urban legend, more or less. I'll put more details on the screen because I didn't really do too much research on this one, because that one doesn't really interest me too much, you know what I mean? Like, it could just be a bunch of dudes with dementia going exploring into buildings, but whatever. Next one, The Smiling Man. The Smiling Man is actually one that I'm pretty up to date with. That one's one that I watched when it was new, when I was younger. It was one of the scary ones because I had the picture to go with it. I'll throw it up on the screen right now. That guy's smiling and it looks like his face is all whitewashed or something. It looks fucked up. The Smiling Man is a tale that taps into the fear of encountering something disturbing on the streets. In the story, a person goes off to walk and notices someone else dance walking and decides to give them room on the sidewalk, but then they get closer and they notice that something feels wrong and that the person has an off way to themselves. They eventually lose sight of the person after running away, but never again goes for a nightly walk because of his interaction. While the story itself is a work of fiction, it draws inspiration from accounts of eerie encounters with strangely behaving individuals that will make you question what lurks in the shadows. So yeah, that was basically a little thing about it. I don't really remember that part. What I remember was the smiling man and there was also a variation, the smiling dog or the demon dog or whatever. And you'd send an email to the smiling man or the demon dog, and the picture will make you go so crazy. When you first see it, you can't get it out of your head, and then you'll go crazy and literally kill yourself eventually because of it. I don't know anything about that other story about that person dancing and everything. That's just what the summary I wrote up says or whatever. My girl did the research on this, so I don't really know what that one was about, but pretty eerie anyways, I guess. If you're in real life walking by and a fucking dude was just dancing weirdly on the sidewalk, dance walking. I don't know. I would think the guy has confidence, but I can see how that's off-putting. But yeah. Number 5, the Russian sleep experiment. My personal favorite on this list, and the most trippy, and the one that has the most documentation from our government. Like, this is a real thing that happened. Well, probably not our government, the Russian government. This is a real thing that happened. I'm not sure to what extent that the creepypasta was real. I remember watching it and thinking like, holy shit, that's crazy. Like, there's no way that happened. That's a real thing. But like, there is documentation saying that they did do this experiment. It was called the Russian sleep experiment. It was a real thing. While it's a gruesome tale of horrifying human experiment, it draws inspiration from stories of actual sleep deprivation studies conducted in the past. Test subjects were put into a chamber and were told not to sleep for 30 days. They never made the 30 days and began self-harming and became violent. The subjects did such bodily harm to themselves that the researchers could see their internal organs and later on would have a great trouble subduing the subjects. The ethical boundaries of these experiments will leave you questioning the depths of human cruelty. That shit was fucked. I remember like first hearing about the Russian sleep experiment first, hearing the creepypasta and everything, all the sound effects they put in. I'll put it in the description, all these stories too, so you guys can check them out for yourself. But the Russian sleep experiment is one that I still think about this day randomly. It's just so fucking cruel and fucked up and crazy. Basically, a quick little breakdown of what happens in the stories. They try to keep these Russian soldiers awake because they thought that after 30 days of being sleep deprived, that it unlocks human consciousness in a weird way where like it makes you more powerful or something. Like they believed in like, you know, kind of like a telekinesis type shit, but you unlock that after the 30 days is what they were hoping, or something like that. And also, it was mainly, I guess, like technically just to find out the human limits and what happens if you don't sleep for 30 days. But I think that was, you know, in the back end what they were hoping for. Powers type shit, you know, the brain awakes or something. But in the story, you're told about slowly how these people first go to they're fine, and then they're joking around, and then they start freaking out a little bit, and then everything goes fucking south real quick. Like after, I think 15, 16 days, they're like going crazy, yelling all day, ripping their skin off, saying that things are chasing them, that they're seeing monsters and all that shit. And that eventually one day that there's just silence, and then they're all just staring in the cameras type shit. They're all ripping each other apart off casually. They have the big black eyes. They're ripping each other's skin off. They're eating each other's skin, drinking each other's blood. And then the people kept saying that they're gonna try to stop the experiment. They try to shut off, turn on the lights and everything, get them out of there and everything. That you hear a noise or you hear their voices screaming like, "Turn the lights off! Da da! We want to stay down here." And basically, in the creepypasta story, it goes with basically everybody in the fucking science room dying except the writer of the story. Obviously, there's always one that's surprised so he can write the fucking creepypasta. So that guy escapes barely, but it's like, you know, he's while he's climbing the ladder to civilization outside and type shit because they're underground this whole time. That you know, he could see the monsters maybe looking up at him and shit. And that's the whole imagery of that story always just gave me chills and scares the shit out of me. So if that's true in any capacity, which it was because it's documented proof, that scares the fuck out of me. That's why I put it as the number one, because that's just the most realistic out of all these, and actual, like, has documentation that it's real. Like, it's not based off stories or whatever. It's a real thing that happened. Now, like, probably not the whole eating each other and da 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 and saying that they're basically they had like demonic voices and everything. That's probably not true either, but you know, it's just the most realistic in that sense where there's documentation and there's realism. Like, it's not they turn into demons and, you know, or Slenderman, they grew tentacles, start attacking. It's more realistic. So if you guys haven't heard of any of these creepypastas or you don't know what creepypastas are, I recommend, like, just in the dark by yourself, listen to some creepypastas, man. It'll make you appreciate life a whole lot more, because I that's what I used to do for hours a day, just in the night, watching creepypastas, heart thumping like crazy, sweating, like literally looking over my shoulder every little thing I heard because I have headphones on, and then you hear a little bump in the fucking hallway and you're like, holy shit, there's Slenderman, I'm dead now. Like, random shit. It's just so fucking sketchy, and it actually makes me think a lot. Like, every time I look outside in my backyard, I'm scared of seeing eyes glowing back at me, because that's the thing in a lot of these fucking creepypastas is, you know, the monster seeing you type shit. So it's just scary. I don't know. I just thought it's Halloween soon. It's October, you know, it's the Halloween time of year. And I thought this would be a cool video. I'm gonna do a couple more creepypasta videos during the month, probably, or something like that. You know, I like to go with the holidays and everything. So, you know, happy Halloween, even though it's like weeks before, but you know, it's October. Happy Halloween. You guys be safe out there. Check out some more creepypastas. Check them out in the description. I linked everybody's video and everything that I'm mentioning here, whether it's their story or their video, or I'm using the background of their video or some shit for the video. It's all going to be in the description because I believe in giving people their credit, you know? But anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you guys like videos like this, it's kind of a different thing. I don't know if it's going to be good at all, you know? It's my first time trying to do a video like this. If you guys do enjoy it, let me know by leaving a like and a comment on what you think, and also a suggestion of another video set that you'd like to see. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, my name is Lowqy and I'm out. Peace.